Hey guys, it's me, Aquos. Today, we're looking at my new card game. Well, not my new card game, but a redevelopment of one of my old card games, Basomon. This is Basomon 3.0. Yes, 3.0. I've done this game so many times, and this time, I think I got this TCG right. And yeah, let's get into it. So first up, we have the Basomon, obviously. The namesake of the game. This Basomon right here is a S-chunk. And let's get into how all the stats work. So, right here is 160, that's HP. The 140 is your attack, and the 70 is your defense, and the 2 is your movement. Basically, the white is your movement, the blue is your defense, the red is your attack, and the green is your attack. The green is your HP, oh my goodness. And your defense is always on. You always have defense, that's how much less damage you're doing. So, if somebody has 60 defense and you're doing 120, if you have 120 attack, they're doing 60 less damage because they have 60 defense, so you're actually just doing 60 damage because your attack is 120. 60 minus 120 is 60, so you're just doing 60 damage. And that's just how the game goes. Now in this game, elemental types are really important because that determines how much damage you're doing. Now, a plus 20 boost doesn't seem like much right here. If you see at the weaknesses at the bottom, right there in the little tiny itsy binsies, if you can see that. And plus 20 more damage on a card doesn't seem like much, but it can definitely change the tides about really easily. That can make the difference of killing something and not killing something, even though it doesn't seem like it. Because it basically gives you more. It basically gives you more attack, basically. Because if I had 120 attack, well, if I have a typing advantage, well, actually I have 140. It's a small boost, but it is very important. Same thing about resistances. Resistances could be the difference between you staying alive and you dying. So typings are a lot more important in this game, and basically typings are like how typings are in Pokemon, where is not a Pacific card doesn't have their personal weaknesses or personal resistances. The type has basically a water type is always going to be weak against a plant and a thunder type, and it's always going to have a fire resistance. It's not like each water type is going to have their own different weaknesses, like in my other card game, Charge Cards, where each card has their personal weaknesses and resistances. This game, it's general weaknesses and resistances, meaning that if you have a water type, it will always be weak against thunder and plant, or flora. In this game, plant is called flora. It's always going to be weak against thunder and flora type. So yeah. Then you have the cost of a card. You see right here the cost, and the cost is just how much that card costs. So here's how the energy resource kind of works in this game. Each turn, you gain an energy, right? Or each one of your turns, you gain an energy on your turn at the beginning of each of your turns. But on your first turn, you only have 2 energy, meaning that you're probably just going to be able to play a normal Basomon, which is a cost 2 Basomon, and then pass, usually. But then on your next turn, then you're going to have 3 energy. And then so on and so forth until you get to 6 energy. 6 energy is the max. And it works perfectly because there's 6 sides on a dice. And also because 6 is the limit. Because with 6 you can play 3 cost 2 Basomon per in one turn, which is a little bit wild. So any more than that would be crazy. How much just cards just being plopped on the floor, being plopped on the field at a time is just going to be too wild if I go any higher than 6. So it only goes up, the maximum is 6 if the game really goes out that long. And then that's how the energy and resource system works. And also energies aren't type specific, so it's like the energies can't be a type, they're just energies, and that's it. It's not like Pokemon where you need certain types of energies for certain types of stuff, and yeah. And you might be wondering, what's this hero thing right here? Well, this thing right here is your class. So classes are what makes this game really unique. Let me just bring out the class cards. And this is what makes this game really fun and unique. It makes the game just kind of tick. It is like the frame, or should I say frame, the skeleton of the game. Oh no, not the skeleton. It's more like the meat of the game, not the skeleton. The skeleton of the game is probably the type system. The meat of the game is the class system, probably. Because unlike most card games, usually you don't build your deck around a single type, or you're going to be weak to a single or multiple types, and it's not going to be good. But if you make your deck around classes, that is going to be good, because classes aren't necessarily types. They don't have anything weaknesses or anything like that. They're just well, you'll see. So this is hero class, and hero class is our A rank class. Ranks don't actually have anything to do in gameplay. It's just how good I think each class is in like my scoring. It doesn't actually have anything to do with like actual gameplay. And hero class is a range 1 class, or has a range 1, and basically they attack everything around them, diagonally, adjacent to them, anything around them, anything in the pink space. But then anything farther than 1 range they can't hit, which is basically kind of nice. It's nice. It's not like bad, but it's not necessarily good either. But then you have their effect. When adjacent to an ally, do 30 more damage. Now this sounds like nothing, but this is a really good effect. All you have to do is be adjacent to another ally, meaning to the left of you, the top of you, the right of you, or the bottom of you. That doesn't mean diagonally of you. Doesn't mean this, because that wouldn't work. So adjacent is only right next to you. You guys have to be right here, not diagonally next to each other. If that makes sense to if that makes sense to you guys. Yeah, that's a really good effect. But back to like what I was saying, how classes are better than organizing by types or building around types, is that since classes have class effects, basically, since if you build around a single class, you know everything in your deck will have a certain effect. Meaning, if you have effects that makes that effect better, basically everything can do that effect combo. Meaning that your deck is just, it's just basically like, it's already it's just really synergy. I can't say the word, but it has a lot of synergy without having to like try to build it with synergy. You just have to pick a class and then build around it. Now, it doesn't mean only use hero cards or only use another class. It just means build around it. It doesn't mean you can't use other classes. It just means build around it. And yeah. Yeah, that's what classes are. Back to Basomon. Then Basomon have personal effects, like S-Chunk's Hero Sense effect. When a Basomon is killed, play it back with 50 HP thrice per game. So you could do that 3 times per game, bring back something that should have been dead with 50 HP. That's a pretty nice effect. Now, of course, it sucks if he dies early, because then you miss that effect. So usually you want to save him until mid-game, do the effect, and yeah. It's just a really cool effect, and yeah. That's really much to say about it. S-Chunk is a pretty solid card. He does a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage, but he does a decent amount of damage, and yeah. That's how Basomon work. Now it's on to how do you win the game. So this is like what makes, this is like, I don't know, the skin of the game. I don't know what these like analogies are, but yeah, this is like the skin of the game. Space cards. So you can arrange your field. You can arrange your field with these space cards. So on turn 0, yes, turn 0, both players arrange six space cards. 6 space cards in any way they want, but for this we're just gonna do 30 at the top, 3 at the top, enter at the bottom, and then then you go to turn 1, and then you play cards on those space cards, and then they move around. Now I know this sounds really bad, and I know like I know it looks cluttery, but trust me, it's not. It works pretty well. It's actually very fun. It actually is very fun. So yeah, and then like back to like how you win. Your opponent can break, break one of your space cards. If they do that, well then now they're gone. But you might be saying, wait, can't you trap a card on a space card if you break this space cards around them? Well, no. When a space card is broken, the field fills up that space. So like, let's say that one was just broken, so this one will move up. Let's say this one's broken, so then that one moves up, and then this one breaks, and then that one moves up. Or, let me just reset it. Or if this one breaks, well, nothing happens. But then, if this one breaks, nothing happens. So yeah, you can choose to fill your, because basically, whenever whenever a space card is broken, you can basically like arrange your fields to be next to each other, basically, so there's no gaps. Or you don't really have to, because if there's a gap like this, oh, I just hit my camera. If there's a gap like that, your card can just jump the gap. That'll still count as one space. If you were to go boom, that's one space. So yeah, basically, so that's not really a problem. So your opponent can't just trap you. They can't really trap you on like a space unless they have like something like this and this, and they have you cornered, and you're like this, and they have two other Basomon cornering you. Then you can be trapped. Then you can be very much trapped, and then you're stuck. But then also you kind of have to suck. You kind of have to like. You have to be like your opponent has to be good anyway to put you in a position like that. So yeah. But yeah, when all of your space cards are gone, your opponent wins. And then the other way before we go to the second win rate, then we're gonna have to go to how decks work. Okay, so decks are very convoluted in this game because there's a lot of just gears and stuff going to decks. Now it's not super complicated. It's not like the most complicated thing in the world, but it is kind of convoluted. So of course you bring your six regular space cards, to bring along. That doesn't actually, they don't really count as in your deck. They're just kind of there. They just kind of start with you in turn 0. They're just not in your deck. Then you have your other non-Basomon cards, like item cards that you just use, and then they're done. And then also your deck refreshes when you run out of cards in your deck. Basically, that means your discard goes into your deck after you run out of cards in your deck. So it refreshes, and that's why your deck is very small. It's 10 to 7 cards, and remember, this is only non-Basomon cards. So no Basomon. Then we have your party. So your party is it's basically like your second hand, basically. Your party is your second hand. In the party, Basomon are just reset. In the party, Basomon can't be taking damage. Any damage that was on them, they just don't exist anymore. But yeah. So yeah, your party is just like a second hand, and basically you can play cards from your party basically as long as you meet the cost. So like, let's say I want to play S-Chunk for my party. Well, he costs 2, so that's all I gotta do. Basically, your party says, but every Basomon all your Basomon's costs in your party must add up to 12 or less. So there is like a limit on like how many Basomon you have in your party, and yeah, so then costs do like mean something else too, also like how many of that Basomon that you have in your deck, which is also really interesting and more gears going.